Paso County Attorney's Office says we're seeing more and more cases of deceptive business practice crimes, whether that be a contractor or service provider. The County Attorney's Office is reminding the public to be vigilant when hiring for work around your house or property. And if you do fall victim to a deceptive business crime, you do have options through law enforcement and the County Attorney's Office. And joining us now is El Paso County Attorney Cristina Sanchez to provide us more insight into deceptive business practices. Ms. Sanchez, thank you so much for being with us here today.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, tell us just how prevalent this is in our community, and if there is maybe even a specific group that is being targeted by deceptive business practices.
Sure, we see these types of cases, and when I say we, I'm talking of course about the County Attorney's Office, what gets referred to us from law enforcement. The group that we targeted the most, of course, is our most vulnerable population, which is our seniors, where they're looking to get a little bit of work done on their homes, for example. They go off of word of mouth, good faith, and so they're paying up front to the contractor, whoever's doing work on their home, the money right away, and so that is unfortunately what we're seeing in this community.
How should residents be taking precautions, namely when hiring a contractor or a service provider, and knowing that it's a legitimate business? Because a lot of these schemes too, they're very elaborate.
Sure. So one of the things that we like to tell individuals, at least tell the public to be aware of, is make sure that the person that you are working with, as if it's a contractor, that they are licensed and bonded. One of the red flags that we have seen in a lot of these cases is when a contractor is telling the individual, go out on your own and get the permit. There should be no reason why somebody would tell the individual who is asking for that work to be done to go out and get the permit. In fact, if they are telling you that, it is because they themselves are not licensed and bonded in order to get that permit themselves from the city. We're also asking them to make sure to check in with the Better Business Bureau, see if they are a legitimate business, make sure you can check their references. One of the things we also tell a lot of folks is go off of word of mouth, what other individuals or who other individuals have used to do work on their house. That goes a lot. And of course, check the internet too on some reviews. We know sometimes those could be hyped up one side or the other, but it doesn't hurt to go on there and to do your own independent research versus just hiring somebody off the street that says I can do X, Y, and Z work. Definitely a red flag if they're asking for all the money up front as well.
And when we're talking about payments, you just mentioned it, all the money up front, that seems unusual, but there are even legitimate contractors out there or legitimate businesses who ask for at least partial payment up front, whether that be a quarter of it, whether that be half of it. So what are some suggestions from the County Attorney's Office when you're paying for service or a contract work being done at your house?
Sure. So of course it would always be a good idea to have a contract in place for the individual that is getting those services. If this is for your home, take pictures along the way. Document conversations that you have had with the individual that is there to do that work. Those are very important. Keep any types of communication, whether that's a text message. Again, if that is a telephone conversation, write it down. Put something down in writing so that you have the information in real time. I will say this, not necessarily do we need a contract in place in order to go after or go forward on a case, but it makes a difference. But up front, that is something standard that a legitimate person doing work on your home should have.
What should people do if they feel like they have been a victim of a deceptive business? And what role does your office then get involved, and what do they play in a deceptive business practice?
Sure. If they feel that they have been a victim of a deceptive business practice crime, they should definitely contact law enforcement, have them take down a report, go into the office as well if you can, take all of your documentation up front, get your case number, follow up. Once the police department or the sheriff's department is able to do an investigation, what ends up happening is that gets then referred back to our office. Our lawyers take a look at it, they review the case and make a determination whether or not we could move forward on that case. And I'd like to say successfully we've been able to collect over $243,000 in restitution for victims, so it's working. One of the other things I would add is that if you know that there are other individuals that may have been a victim of a particular person who has solicited these types of services or who have promised to deliver these types of services, bring them with you when you're making a report. There is definitely strength in numbers. I think, again, recently we have seen a large amount of individuals go in as a group to report these types of crimes. So it's definitely helpful to add that, because it also means that the punishment, right, or the level of offense that we can go after on that individual could increase to potentially a felony because of the amount that is attributed to them for the work that they have not completed.
So your office, you've seen the results in terms of restitution, because I think a lot of people, when they fall victim to something like this, they think automatically, well, I'm just out that money. But as you just said, you've seen results in terms of getting victims restitution.
That's exactly right. I mean, that is important. Of course, we know for victims, a lot of the times what we hear from them is, we just want our money back. We just want to be made whole. And yes, we are going to do everything we can to do that. But what we have also unfortunately have seen, and this is very concerning, is that there is this repeated pattern of behavior from certain individuals. They come here, go to a different community, come back, head out to a different community. And so at that time, the assessment that we do have to make is whether or not we are going to seek jail time. And in some cases, that means restitution and jail time for these individuals, so that we can ensure that that does not happen to anybody again.
Yeah. Ms. Sanchez, thank you so much for being with us here today, providing us your insight on a growing problem, it seems like, in our community. We certainly appreciate your time.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah. Coming up